I tested the reference home theater at the Tonewinner factory. Let's take a look at it together. I'll tell you how it's set up and what kind of theater this actually is. It is quite a serious room, as you can see, probably about 30 square meters, maybe even 40, if not close to 50. Here we have a 7.1.4 configuration, meaning there are 7 speakers on the horizontal plane and 4 that are positioned above, facing down toward us. So what is this set up for? It's so that, for example, if a helicopter is flying, it should sound like it's flying above you. If raindrops are falling, you should be able to hear them coming from above. If the theater is perfectly tuned, the sound of the drops should come from overhead. Moreover, this setup uses a Dolby Atmos processor. That's why it's a spatially oriented sound system, which essentially isn't tied to the old configurations like DTS HD Master Audio or Dolby True HD. You might remember those systems, and before them there were just basic 5.1 setups. Those systems were mixed a bit differently. Dolby Atmos works differently. It's a more advanced system. I feel like it's missing a carpet. There should be a huge Belgian carpet here, preferably black, with a pile like this, which of course will also absorb sound waves, my friends. And then your movies, films, music, anything, games will all sound even better. Well, if you haven't bothered to hang up panels, then at least let's improve and transform the sound a little with this kind of decorative element. The bass machine here is, of course, the big Tonewinner Subwoofer. This is the D8000 Pro model, I believe. It has as many as 1, 2, 6 bass reflex ports. It's kind of a double monster, you know. At home, I have an SWS PB16 Ultra. It feels like they shortened it a bit, so to speak. It's as if 2 SWS subwoofers merged together, and we end up with this kind of mutant, which actually sounds pretty good overall. There are 2 handles here for carrying it, and note that you can place it either on its bottom side or set it up vertically, which is actually quite convenient. Behind the screen here is the center channel, a 200-inch screen, and accordingly the front channels are hidden behind these panels. We can see them through this perforation. Honestly, I would have done it a little differently. I would have installed panels here that absorb sound, specifically bass traps for sure, and only then would I hide the speakers behind the screen. If you're going to do it this way here, although overall I'm not a fan of building home theaters with perforated screens like this, because they still degrade the sound. If you want to create a no-compromise home theater, then of course you need to place the speakers behind the screen. But there are certain nuances there as well, because you can't place the center channel behind the screen either. You have to place it either below or above, which isn't ideal. So you'll have to play around with the screen size. But in my own system, overall, I've managed to achieve, in my opinion, almost the perfect setup. When I build home theaters, you can always reach out to me, and I'll create a no-compromise home theater for you, if that's what you want, of course, and if you're willing to invest. If you're not, well, we'll make some compromises, but we'll still achieve a very high-quality result. The surround speakers are mounted. Of course, the tweeter isn't facing the listener, but it is what it is. Also, I'm not really a fan of how the connectors are set up here, as you can see. Unfortunately, I can't call this an uncompromising approach, because the cable should go directly to the receiver or amplifier. And the surround back here, as you can see, uses exactly the same connection system. So on the ceiling we have 6 speakers, 6 acoustic systems, but in this case only 4 are in use. If the configuration were 7.1.6 with these 2 additional speakers, of course, the sound would be smoother and more seamless. But the guys from Tonewinner decided to do it this way because most likely they ran into the amplifier's limitations, friends, since the processor should be able to handle that many speakers. But their amplifier is an 11-channel one naturally from Tonewinner. Of course, I suggested they improve this rack a bit and add 2 of their 2-channel amplifiers with the VU meters, which I absolutely love. That's 2 2500 Pro units and 1 7-channel amplifier with VU meters. Then the system would be truly uncompromising. Moreover, they already have the new AT500 processor installed here, which as it turns out comes with a new menu. They've tweaked it a bit and improved the calibration system. Overall, I liked it. Simple but tasteful. Much better than before. Notice that they also have a karaoke system here, as well as a power protection system. There are also 2, as I understand it, multimedia players, which, according to Tonewinner's engineers, are made in Beijing. And of course, a black rack mount like this one is just what this setup needs. The calibration microphone is up here, there are a bunch of remotes, the control system, as I can see, is all in Chinese, and the chairs are quite comfortable. The guys have an Epson projector, I have exactly the same one at home. It's a good choice. It's bright enough because a 200-inch screen requires an intense light output. And this unit, off the top of my head, should deliver about 2400 lumens. What can I say about the sound in this home theater? You know, overall it's not bad. I'll be honest, I noticed and adjusted the subwoofer's performance because the system itself was set up pretty well and the Tonewinner engineer showed how they calibrate everything here. Although I already knew this and had tried it, yes, on the old processor, but nevertheless, nothing much has changed there. But as for the D8000 bass machine, in my opinion, and let's say in my colleague's opinion, it was set up incorrectly because the subwoofer was going into overload. I adjusted the cutoff frequency and set it so that it played from 11 Hz to 35 Hz. And after that, of course, it started working much more precisely. Yes, the bass became, let's say, less voluminous in terms of height, but it became much more accurate in the lower and lowest registers, just as it should be, because their front speakers are quite bass heavy, and as it seems to me by ear, they play roughly from around 30 Hz and up. That's why the subwoofer plays from 11 to 35 Hz, and that's exactly what's needed. The punch is better, the immersion is better, and both Mad Max and even John Wick, of course, sounded a bit different. Moreover, I adjusted its position a little again because it was placed a bit closer to the wall, so I moved it out a bit and aimed it at the listeners. After that, the punch once again changed a little. You see, in our business, there are no small details. It's all about these little nuances. You tweak something here, adjust something there, and the system starts to sound great. I also listened to Enrique Iglesias' demo song Bailando with the gorgeous brunette who dances with Enrique. Just an amazing song, an amazing music video, and an absolutely stunning woman. Again, I've tested and tuned a lot of home theaters using this track. Overall, I liked it. Considering that the room, well, as you can see, is somewhat prepared, but honestly, it's only very minimally prepared. Yes, there is perforation on the walls here, but there's no carpet. There's definitely a lack of bass traps and not enough acoustic panels. If it were up to me, I'd put in Cinema Round premium panels and Super Bass Extreme just off the top of my head. I recommend that the guys send the project to Portugal, to the acoustic company, so they can calculate the room and say exactly what needs to be installed and where. But again, this takes time, requires understanding, and costs money. Although I'm sure Tonewinner can afford it if they want to do everything as uncompromisingly as possible. Now immerse yourself a little in this awesome movie atmosphere. So, let's watch a clip. In conclusion, it performs well, not perfectly, but well. There's still room for improvement and growth. But that's wonderful, my friends, because we're always searching for perfection, but it's usually unattainable. But if you turn to me, I think you'll practically achieve it.